Good morning, folks. This is Tom Lehr coming to you from South Mississippi on this Flag Day 2020. I'm hoping everybody's doing fine. Well, I've got my postal t-shirt on. I did retire from the post office, and as I've told you before, the Postal Service is in the Constitution. It's one of the things that when you think of freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of communication even, that's the great thing about the post office, that it's, and the way it's set up. If you were to privatize it, you might as well forget it. And that's what your wonderful President Trump is trying to do, ruin it, privatize it, etc., etc. But I don't agree with him, basically on anything. So I stand with the post office, I stand with the postal workers, and I hope he fails in his bid to privatize it and sell it off to the highest bidder. So that's just my thought on it. If this is the first time you have come to this channel and you think I'm going to be a conservative right-wing nut, you might as well just press the button now and go to the other duck commander, because that's not my style. Anyhow, Flag Day, June 14th, 1777, the Second Continental Congress passed the Flag Resolution Act, resolved that the flag of the United States, that's where you're living, be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, and that there be 13 stars in a blue field representing a new constellation. The name of the flag originally was called Old Glory, and it is said that Betsy Ross sold the first flag, and this is just a legend, that she that they wanted her to do 6 stars, and she found that it was easier to do 5, so she said, hey, let's just go with 5. Now whether this is true or not, I don't know. But anyhow, June 14th, 1777, they passed that resolution. 1916, they made it an official holiday, Flag Day. In 1906, Robert Peary placed the flag on the North Pole. 1963, Barry Bishop placed it on Mount Everest. 1969, they placed it on the moon. There is something called the Flag Code. It tells you how you're supposed to treat a flag. You're supposed to fly the flag from dawn to dusk, except there are places that it flies all the time. One of them is Fort McHenry. Another is the Marine Memorial for Iwo Jima at Arlington. Another is the green of the town of Lexington, Massachusetts. Another one is the White House. One is U.S. Customs Port of Entry. Another is at Valley Forge. And the other is Flag House Square. These places fly the flag continuously. August 1892, the Pledge of Allegiance was written by a man named Francis Bellamy. He was a socialist minister, And his original one read, I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And in 1923, the words, the flag of the United States, were added. 1954, in response to the communist scare, Eisenhower urged Congress to add under God. And one of the main groups that lobbied for that was the Knights of Columbus, a Catholic group. They wanted those words added. This was during when McCarthy and all those people ruined so many people's lives under the guise of calling everybody a communist. And we see that today, you know, uh, pointing the finger at somebody and calling them a communist or this, that, and the other to ruin their lives. But that didn't work. Eventually, they got tired of him and all the mess that he was creating, so they got rid of all that. Originally, even up until World War II, when they did the Pledge of Allegiance, the kids would hold their hand out like that, like kind of like the Hitler salute. And they changed that when World War II started. They figured it looked too much like the Hitler arm raise, so they changed that, the way of saluting the flag. The flag, well, and you know, one of the main reasons they did it, they wanted to more or less indoctrinate kids. You see, it was for to do it in schools. They wanted to put into them a sense of, um, I guess, citizenship and pride in being an American. So that's where it started, where they started doing it in the schools. Um, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And 2004, well, it was before that, Jehovah's Witnesses, they did they took a case to the Supreme Court saying that it was against their religion to do the pledge. They called it idolatry. So the Supreme Court said, okay, you don't have to do it. You're not. In 2004, they ruled that the children don't have to stand during the Pledge of Allegiance. Um, there were other lawsuits, this, that, and the other. People were saying it was against their faith, religion, to do that. During the Vietnam War, when they were burning the flag, they made it a law that you couldn't do it, and then a couple years later, the Supreme Court reversed that law and didn't make it a crime to burn the flag. So we've seen a lot of different things happen in relationship to the flag. Um, there's a couple of things I want to hit on in this I Pledge Allegiance. Oh, well, before I get to that, um, the U.S. code, the flag code, tells you how you're supposed to dispose of a flag, how you're supposed to fly it during a funeral, how the stars are supposed to lay on the casket. Um, half-mast. All these things are in this flag code. Couple of things I found interesting. It also says you're not supposed to wear the flag as a garment. And I saw this video on this guy named Kid Rock. He's a friend of Trump's. Anyhow, he had the flag draped around him. He was in some kind of concert, and his hair was real greasy. He looked like he was stoned out, methed out, whatever. And wearing, the flag looked dirty, actually. You probably seen that. And, but all the people were out there just loving on it. That's your new patriotism there. And that's who Trump, that's some of his buddies. False patriotism is what I call it. Uh, Also, Trump, when he was hugging that flag that time, I don't know what he was doing to it. It looked like he was trying to hump on it. That was, to me, very disgraceful. You Trump followers probably don't see that, but you don't see a lot of things. You don't want to see a lot of things, actually. Um, that was, to me, wrong. When I was probably about 17 or 18, I hitchhiked to a concert down in Florida. That's when I was a hippie back in those days. I'm still a hippie now. I'm an old hippie. And we were going through Alabama, and these two old boys picked us up, and we drove by an American Legion, and they were taking the flag down, and apparently they weren't doing it right. And one of the guy driving had made a comment about it. He was kind of pissed off about it, and I didn't say anything about it one way or the other, because back then, I personally, I wasn't into burning the flag, or I really didn't think about any of that stuff. But that stuck with me. The respect he had, just for that. I never really thought of that before until he said that. And here I am an old, hippie, wanting to go to a concert and listen to the Allman Brothers and probably smoke a couple of doobies. And this old redneck dude in Alabama was, same America, same thing. Commented on that, and that stuck with me, all these years. Um, so that just something in my mind. Anyhow, I pledge allegiance. What? Well, the second word, you pledge. What does it mean to pledge? Is that a vow? I pledge my allegiance. What is your allegiance? How deep does your allegiance run? To the flag. See, to the flag. The flag is, basically it's an inanimate object. It's not a living. It's just here. It's what in your mind, in your soul, you project onto this object. That's my opinion. Now, that's just my opinion. Your values. You might project all this into this, what you can see. Maybe like a statue or something. Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic. What is a republic? For which it stands. To the republic for which it stands. The ideas. What are the ideas of this republic for which this flag is supposedly standing for? One nation under God. Are we one nation under God? What does it mean, one nation under God? What God are they talking about? Somebody sent me a video the other day, said the Democrats, in a hearing, they, when you do your I swear to tell the whole truth and all that stuff, they took out the so help me God. And these people that sent me this video were upset about that. My thinking is this. Say if I were to get up and do that, and I was an atheist, what would be the point? Or if my God, if I followed Buddha, as an American, or Mohammed, whoever, that wouldn't be valid. Because to me, what this is, you're projecting the image of a what you think is everybody's falling under the same Christian God. And remember, this under God was added only in the 1950s, so it hadn't been around that long. 54, that's when I was born. That's how long this whole statement's been around. So it hadn't always been there. Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And remember that thing that says all men are created equal? Just replace the C in created with a T. I was thinking about this. All men are treated equal. See, you might be created equal by God, but you're not treated equal. See, this flag, this flag might be a banner to make sure, hey, under this flag, we're all supposed to be, you said we're created equal. Why aren't we treated equal under this flag? With liberty and justice for who? For all? Do we see that daily? Or is it just the people that are getting a break, financially? I mean, I've seen people do some crazy stuff. The system, the system falls under the flag of the United States of America. So right now we're going through some trying times. I mean, some very upheaval times in the United States of America, which this flag is a representative of my country, not the Confederate flag. The war is over, folks. It's been done about 165 years. Get over it. Get over it. Take down the flag. I live in Mississippi. We still got the Confederate flag on our state flag. These people want to hold on to that. Why? I have no idea. To me, it's a treasonous symbol. This is my flag here, not the. If you want, go start your own country. Go find a place, an island, and take all these people that hold these weird beliefs and want to carry around your AK and your. We're the only country where a group that had tried to overtake the Union, we still have statues and flags for the losers, for the treasonous people. We still worship them, have holidays and days for them. No other, I bet Germany, they don't fly a swastika, or Japan, all these other, it's over, folks. The war is over. You know, get, what side are you on? Quit spreading your dissent. They took down the flags of the NASCAR. I read there was only one black driver in the whole NASCAR circuit. Who cares? But also in the flag code on the staff, you only fly the American flag. Well, I saw a picture at the NASCAR. They had the American flag, and then right below it, they had the Confederate flag. What a bunch of crap. But these rednecks, or whoever, I call them fake patriots, they think, well, everything, look at us. Stupid. It's wrong, folks. It is wrong. Well, it's this. I talked to the guy who is the president of the Sons of the Confederate in here in town, and he was running for office, and a lot of his constituents were in the black neighborhood. I said, how do you think you're gonna win when you're representing this. He said, oh no, he said, it's not a hate group. What's the purpose of doing it? It's over. Pledge your allegiance to one or the other, folks. One or the other. You know. Um, it, it it's beyond me. And then they want to rename. You know, I didn't even think about this, but there are 10 military bases that have the names of defeated Confederate generals. We still we're still honoring the losers. Fort Hill, Camp Beauregard, Fort Benning, Fort Bragg, Fort Gordon, Fort Hood, Fort Lee, Fort Pickett, Fort Polk, Fort Rucker. It's it's amazing to me, you know. And this is a time things are waking up. It's a shake-up. A lot of the things are kind of extreme. Maybe it's a cleansing time, you know. And I hope that our country has the strength to to see these things through. The system is messed up, folks. The system is messed up. Uh, I saw a thing where they tore down a Christopher Columbus statue, or they threw paint on it or something, and I texted it to my friend. And she said, I don't know. She said something. Well, he was a good. He did this. I said he was not a good person. You know, he was a slave trader. He killed the indigenous people. He wasn't. Well, he discovered America anyhow. I said no, he didn't. America, you know, it's just dumb. She said the people need to get over it. She said we buy cars from China and Germany. Gosh, let's get over it. I mean, that's her mentality. She's she loves Donald Trump. She's you know she's still my friend, but I just don't know what she's been smoking, folks. It's beyond me. And now Trump's got a thing out. If you want to go to his rally, he's going to make you sign a waiver saying if you get sick from the virus, you can't sue him. That's the dumbest damn thing I've ever heard or seen. Do we live in a science fiction world, people? Science fiction. What is going on in this country? What is going on? Think about it. You know, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And I don't pledge allegiance to this cloth. You pledge allegiance to a set of ideals, folks. To something, and maybe it's been drilled into you since you were a kid, but there has to be more than economic freedom involved in that, with liberty and justice for all. See, for all. That's what the basis has to be set on. I don't care if you believe in God or you don't believe in God. That's on you. See, I would rather have a person that doesn't believe one stitch in God, and that's a decent human being morally and treats people right, than some so-called Christian running around here that's the biggest hypocrite of all, you know. And like I said, we need to change, people. We need to get back to being morally sound. That's all I'm going to say. Whether you want to pledge allegiance to this country or not, as long as you're living here, you know. And as far as kneeling, the flag. That doesn't bother me. I served in the military. Hell, if you want to kneel, kneel. I think we all should kneel and say a prayer. I would rather see somebody kneel for his beliefs than stand there and get a photo op and hug the flag like some fool. See, very disgraceful. So, folks, Flag Day today. Stand with this country, with your fellow citizens. Uh, all this taking over this, that, and the other, and terrorizing. I don't go for that. The system's in a shakeup now. We don't have anybody in control at the top that's doing anything but dividing us, folks. And that's the sad part. I lived through the Nixon era, through part of the LBJ before he got out, and we had the same problems. Maybe it's more noticeable now since we have more ways of putting it out there. But with liberty and justice for all. You don't go to spray peaceful protesters when you're trying to get a picture of you standing in front of a church that you never go to with the Bible. It's wrong, folks. It's wrong. Capital WRONG. So this is me. This is my point of view. You may have another one. That's fine. That's fine. But this is my country. I was born here. I live here. I'm a citizen of the United States. This is Flag Day. So let's keep it real, folks. Keep it real. Sometimes you don't have to follow the crowd, especially somebody that wants to make you sign a waiver if you go to one of his rallies saying you won't sue them if you get sick. Folks, if you're watching this and you're a follower of Trump and you go for that or you don't see something is wrong in that, please call 911 and get your brain checked. Come on, folks. As Willie used to say, turn out the lights, the party's over. And if we don't get our shit together as a collective nation, forget these damn politics, but I'm talking about common damn sense and get back to reality. We are screwed. People in Washington have no idea what in the hell is going on. Half of them haven't had probably most of them haven't worked a day in their life. But somehow through money, power, lying, I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of them are. Somebody figured, well, these people will be a good puppet for my agenda. That's how they got there. They have no idea of what's going on with us. No idea. They don't give a damn, folks. Hello? So hang in there. Be good to your neighbors. Like I said, my friend is a dedicated Trumpster, but I'm still her friend. My aunt quit talking to me for about a year because I made a comment. We were talking about farmers. I said, well, isn't this, she's been farming all her life. She's 90 years old now. And I said, isn't this money given to the farmers kind of like welfare? Oh my God, that was it. She loves Trump, hardcore Republican. So she didn't talk to me for a year. So finally, I called her. I figured he's not gonna cause me to hate my family. He's caused so much division. It's kind of like religion. Well, it is the religion of Trump. But so I called her, and so now we've talked 2 or 3 times since then. But we keep the politics out of it. Or she'll make a statement, and I'll kind of make something back, but we don't. I figure, hell, she's 90. I've known her in my mind. I can remember her since I was about 5. I'm not going to let his divisiveness tear my family apart. So, and I hope you don't let him do that to yours, folks, because your family's more important than his sorry, fat, orange butt. So, y'all have a good day. Flag Day. United States of America. Later.